Respect for Iowa, good win, and certainly needed it, like our next breath. So it was good to get it. A lot of contributions from a lot of guys, and obviously we'll play these guys again. The system Iowa plays. I've talked about this. It's unique. It's very difficult to guard. And I thought our guys did a good job with it, and they're changing defenses. Also got us standing around a little bit today, but a lot of credit to a lot of guys. I thought Isaac's play was phenomenal.
Like you said, just one game, but like we just talked to your players and said, given the journey to get to this one game and how the last 2 weeks have gone, what does this feel to come away with a double-digit win after you've had 5 straight single-digit losses?
It certainly feels really good, Adam. But to your point, it's one game, and I think that's the perspective. It's one game, and we're focused on the same thing we are after a loss: is how do we improve and how are we playing? And I think we have had some good stretches of play, and certainly some disappointing stretches of play in the last 5 games. But I think it's much as anything, it's about how are we playing. Tonight, I thought we had some really good things in the areas we've been emphasizing. I thought we did a good job with.
I said that like during this stretch, there's so many times where you guys are telling them things like box out and here's the play. He said we run the play wrong. We give up 15 offensive rebounds. Those are the things that have been killing us. Did you feel like execution of some of those things was better today, and that was maybe the biggest thing to turning this around?
I thought we had some players that really stepped up and they really made plays, and I thought we were a group that was really, really dialed in today. I do think, Adam, we still have a lot of areas where we just have to get better, and that's a byproduct of having a younger group and a relatively new group. We're not there yet, so to Ice's point, I think that's areas we got to continue to clean up.
So to follow up on that, when you've had these close losses, you get a win like today, is it as simple to say guys just executed, or were there more things that you saw that were the difference between the difference in between winning and losing today and some of those closer games?
Yeah, no, each game's different, and the opponents are different, and Iowa's obviously had won, 4 straight. They won 4 straight, or was it 4 straight? Obviously, had won at Rutgers. They're a really gifted team, well coached, and present a different. So every game's different. I just think, listen, when you're a coach, the challenge is to try to get inside the minds of 18 to 22-year-olds. And to do that consistently. And sometimes they're going to be open and honest with you, and other times it's going to be a bit of a guessing game. But what I've tried to do, and what we've tried to do, and a friend shared with me years ago, is this time of year we tried to coach the heart as much as possible. And I think if we can continue to do that and improve in those areas like rebounding, like better execution at times, a more committed defensive group, then that's all we can ask for.
Do you have an update on Zed?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. Zed, I don't have anything specific right now. It does not look like a long-term injury as of now. It does not look like a long-term injury. I asked him why he dunked it, and he just said, well, I was open. So he felt good about that one. But he did feel some pain, but it does not look like a long-term injury.
So can you take us inside the mind of Ike Likely and tell us where that came from today?
Some of it I think is, his break set him back a little bit. And I think I've been a little bit apprehensive to throw him in situations because, some of it was I didn't know where he was at in terms of his mental space. So I take some of the blame for that. But that's the player, and obviously his numbers were phenomenal. It's made his good performances, in so many ways. And on top of the fact that he's guarding a first-round draft pick. But that's kind of what we were hoping, and I think you're not asking, obviously, for that kind of performance every night, but his impact needs to be significant for this group, and he needs to really commit himself these last two months just to enjoying his final 2 months of college basketball. And we need to rely on him more than what I have, and that's on me.
So, I agree, like, this is the first night I've thought, okay, I see what you advertised when you took him. And it's almost impossible in this sport to hide a guy who can't score.
Yeah.
So I wondered
Yeah.
if you told him, you have to look for your offense more, because it sure seemed like that was a front burner item for him
Yeah.
tonight, where previous
Yeah.
games it never looks like that.
He was able to attack some matchups and get out in transition, which I thought was important, and he's got to continue to work on his finishing. He can struggle at times to score the ball. That'll continue to be the case. But he did need to be a little bit more assertive, particularly in transition when he's at his best. And I just wanted him to be Isaac. And that's what I told him, the day before the game. I just want you to be Isaac. We just need you to be that guy. And he was certainly that, and some.
What's the value of having him show tonight that he can allow you not to play Bruce 38 minutes a game?
Yeah, I think, again, that's looking back on it, I think Bruce, just the mental and physical fatigue at that position, it was different. Malachi played a lot, but it started later. This started earlier for him, and on top of that, he's running our team. It's just a lot for a kid. So we've got to be able to give him. Bruce is great, and I really believe he's going to be one of the best point guards in the country here before his time's done. I no question about that in my mind. He's going to be one of the best point guards in the country before his time here is done. But he's just got to continue to work through some things and obviously get physically better.
What went into the decision for Justice to come off of the bench to start out the game, and did you think that he responded in the way that you wanted him to?
Yeah, we needed ice. That was the decision, really, ultimately. I felt like we needed Ice's activity defensively on Murray. We needed to, I liked that lineup better. Now, we were gonna start Sean until he had his dental emergency, but that was what went into it. Justice did a good job coming off the bench. I thought he gave us real life in the first half. He's a good player and just gotta continue to grow, but he did a good job.
I know you said earlier in the season you want to see Tanner grow defensively. It seems like he really has the last
Yeah.
couple of weeks. What have you seen from his play, especially today? It seemed like he caused 2 big turnovers there.
Yeah, I think he's growing, and to your point, he's improved defensively. He's not where we need him to be yet, but he's improved to the point to where teams, there's just not as many errors as there were earlier in the year. He got rejected on ball screens a lot earlier in the year. He had trouble guarding the ball earlier in the year. Now he's really locked in on those things, and he's a good player. When he does that on that end, he can help us at the other end.
When it seemed like you were able to maybe shift focus of a few things to a few other guys, that we saw some more stuff from Roddy. Felix had an impact. Some guys that have struggled in this stretch seem to all collectively bring you a little bit more. Was that just a product of them taking advantage of their talents? Did you try to do things differently to emphasize a few guys differently today?
We put in a few different things to move the ball a little bit more. And I think that allowed to free some guys up just playing. We did that the last couple of days, but we still have to continue to move the ball better, and the bodies have to move better offensively.
And it also seemed like Bryce talked about trying to be aggressive. And I know he had 3 turnovers in the first minute and a half. You're probably pulling your hair out a little, but did you need somebody to have a game like he had here, where he gets 27 on 12 shots, and just seemed like, I felt like there were times where he was gonna score, and he was gonna take this team where it needed to go. Did you need someone to do something like that?
Well, he's been so consistently good on the offensive end, Adam. We didn't just need him to continue to grow as a player. We certainly don't need that output every night. I thought Ice, as I mentioned, his fingerprint was all over the game on both ends, and I thought Bryce was so highly efficient. He was really like a young kid, wired early, and I saw that in him, and I love that. Now, the 3 turnovers early were just a byproduct of him being really amped and ready and wired to play. And once he settled down, I felt like he could be really effective, and he was phenomenal.
Obviously, 5-game losing streak. There's a
emotion that comes with that, not just losing, but the close games over and over again. I said that they had a team meeting with all the players and just said, we need to take accountability, this is on us. Did you see a shift in the practices recently? Was there anything that changed between Nebraska and today?
No, I think the team meeting happened maybe a week and a half ago or something. No, there wasn't anything significant. You know, we have a lot of private moments and private meetings as a team that people don't see, people don't understand, and it's not really for public consumption. So I'll leave a lot of that, you know, with between us. But I think all in all, you know, they've been probably talking more as a group than what they were earlier when they weren't experiencing as much adversity. I think they're probably talking more, and we'll see what comes out of that. And I think today were some really good things. But again, you know, I think the team meeting that happened was, a couple people mentioned, was maybe after the Minnesota game, perhaps. But it's never on the players. It's on all of us, and it always begins with me. So good for them, but we understand how that works.
When you see the emotion of today's win, you know, don't only go inside the locker room, but you know, what is that feeling amongst the team to finally, you know, get back in the win column moving forward here?
Yeah, it's great. I was really happy for them. You know, they've earned it. It was really, I'm just really happy for those guys because it's, you know, it's obviously been a tough stretch, and a lot of people that go through tough stretches, you try to explain that to them. There've been a lot of really good teams that have struggled at stretches of play, but you don't realize that when you're an 18, 19-year-old kid, and honestly, you don't care. You just you're worrying about your own stretch, and you know, it's been miserable. We'll just keep fighting, keep trying to get better, keep improving, and see where it goes.
Chris, real quick, how much fun was it just to get out there and celebrate with the students and, you know, just release all of
Yeah.
that, you know,
Yeah.
the stress, the energy that you've been feeling?
Oh, it was great. I mean, it was great. You know, our students have been phenomenal. They really have. I mean, I just am. They've been phenomenal. I give our crowd a lot of credit. And thank you for asking that, because I do give our crowd a lot of credit today. I thought they gave us great energy, and there were some fun, exciting plays, you know, because of the attacking their pressure. But I just I give our students. They've been so consistent here these last couple of years, and student tickets have sold out at a high rate. They really bring us at great energy. So it was great to spend a few moments with them. I really do love our student group. They've been phenomenal.
I asked Mike this yesterday, that just if one win would kind of open the floodgates a little bit. I mean, are you expecting now, you want the guys to play more free. Do you think that could now happen, that this kind of pressure of like not having to worry about every play down the stretch kind of situation, like they can get out there?
Yeah, I do think we looked a little bit like a heavy team the other night, carrying the weight of a couple losses. And when you see that as a coach, you're saying, okay, hey, what did I do to make that happen, or what can I do to change that? And that's really what these last couple of days have been about for me, because we played like a heavy-hearted team at Nebraska. And give them credit, they obviously took Purdue to overtime. They're a good team, but I don't want to see that with our guys.
I just talked about captains and just putting more on them as a captain, that what's kind of happened these last couple of weeks isn't acceptable. How much have you had, I don't know, conversation, challenged, done whatever you can to try to get more from those guys to try to lead you out of this?
With Isaac? Or with
The captains in general.
Yeah, we met with them more, Adam. I've met with them more. Met with them yesterday after practice. You know, they're the touch point of the team, and they, you know, as I've talked about, just are gonna determine so much how these next couple months go. It's not, and we've included Bruce in that group too. So yeah, we've had certainly more conversations with them. Okay.